Hi, I'm Brandi Kirk from Kirk Center for Healthy Living. Today I'm going to be talking about myofascial releases. Typically we would do these in the clinic with you. MYO, is just an abbreviation for muscle. So anytime you see that, it means muscle. And fascia is the connective tissue that is around the muscles. It's also around organs. It's around nerves. It's around the vasculature, the arteries and veins. It's pretty much wraps around everything in our body, which is why everything's connected, is through the fascial system. If any of you have cut up chicken breast when it's raw, and you start to pull it apart and it's that thin kind of see-through stuff that is sticking, that's fascia. Okay, so every animal, every human being has fascia, and we can get restrictions in that fascial system. We can also get tender points or trigger points in our muscular tissues and the fascia as well. So this is a way for you to do some myofascial releases at home on yourself, since you're not with us in the clinic at this time, or maybe this is a home exercise program for you to do at a later time. So instead of having somebody try to release them, this is a way for you to do it in between visits. And so I want to show you how to do this. As far as the balls go, on the newsletter I'm telling you where you can kind of purchase the balls. This is one that we actually have at the clinic, that we blow up at the clinic, so we sell these at the clinic. I can't remember how much they are. I like these, so you can see it's about the size of maybe a softball, and it's kind of squishy, okay, but it has some firmness to it, but I can press in here, so there's a little bit of flexibility to this. If you look online, there's a lot of videos on how to use balls to release tender points or trigger points, and sometimes they're using something like a racket ball, or a tennis ball, or a lacrosse ball is something else they use. Those balls are harder. They're great for releasing tender spots, like in the legs or the feet or the arms or something like that. But I'm going to show you how to release some tender spots in the abdomen, and kind of closer to the pelvic area. And for that, you would never want to use, in my opinion, anything really hard in a soft surface like the abdomen. Okay, so you can use those, but only on your extremities, meaning your legs and arms. Maybe your back if you can tolerate it. So right now we're going to use something a little bit softer, and on the newsletter I've given you a place where you can go to find something pretty similar to this as well. Okay, so we used to have home exercise programs that we gave out to our patients that showed somebody actually doing these techniques, and it was for like every body part, right? So it was, there's so many pictures, so many descriptions, and we just pick and choose and give it to our patients. I finally got tired of like copying all those and utilizing all that paper, so I finally started telling my patients, this is like a seek and destroy mission, meaning you're going to seek out on your body and you're going to try to figure out where are the tender spots, what's hurting you, what hurts when you press on it, you know, what's a little sensitive, and then you're going to put the ball in that area. And then you're going to figure out, how do I get all of my weight to get on this ball, okay? And so you just get really creative on, how do I move my body around so that all the pressure is on the ball and going into that tender spot. Now, how long do you hold this? I usually say until the discomfort subsides. Okay, if something is extremely painful, get off of it, don't do it. Okay, always let pain be your guide, but you're going to find some spots that are pretty tender, and as you keep the pressure on it, it should subside. The pain should go down quite significantly, and it's just a really nice way to keep pain at bay, or at least decrease the volume of it a little bit. So I'm going to start in the abdomen first. I'm going to move this ball around. We treat a lot of patients with pelvic issues. So what you're going to do is your pubic bone, which is a bone here in the front, we're going to go just above it. So you're not on the bone, you're right above it. So we're going to put the ball there, and I'm going to be lying on it. And then after that, I'm going to bring it over to the left side here. Again, not on bone, but just inside the bone. And then on the right side. So we'll just work the whole bottom section here. And then when I'm done with that, I'm just going to move it up. Okay? You can go in the center and then to the side, and then maybe all the way up under the ribs. Okay? You can do that. And that just kind of works the whole abdomen. Okay? So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to take this ball, I'm going to find my pubic bone here. I'm going to go just above it. Okay? And I'm going to figure out, how do I want to put all my weight on this? Okay, so if I move the ball down, that's on my pubic bone. I can feel it, it's on bone. Right there, I rolled back down, I kind of moved my body down towards my feet. Now it kind of sunk into some soft tissue. So those of you that have pain right above your pubic bone, maybe you have a scar, like a C-section scar, or a hysterectomy scar, or some type of scar that is kind of like the bikini cut scar. This is a good way to work the scar as well. Once you're here, your options are this. If I go down like this, that takes some pressure off of the ball, meaning there's still tension there. Okay, I can still feel it kind of pressing in to my body, but the discomfort is not as great as if I come up on my elbows. If I come up on my elbows, you can kind of see all the pressure. There's like a fulcrum that's going right into the ball. This is more intense. If you can tolerate it, great. If not, come back down flat. Okay? I can tolerate this. So what I would do is I would just hang out here. I'd hang out here until it just got better. Okay? How long? I'm not going to videotape it, so because we'll run out of time. But you're going to stay here until you say, that pain has decreased by at least 50%. Okay? Once the pain or discomfort has decreased by 50%, then I'm going to roll this ball over to the right side. So I just moved it right over, kind of what I showed you before I laid down. Same thing. I'm going to find a little pain spot. Maybe I roll around until, oh, right there's a spot for me. And again, I can be on my elbows, or if I can't tolerate that, I can come down like this. Okay? And so let's say this one's more tender for me. I can stay down like this. And again, how long are you going to stay here? Well, you're going to stay here until it gets 50% better. The other thing you could do is if I take my left leg up a little bit, if you can tolerate that, that increases the tension, increases the tenderness a little bit. Okay, so I could do that as well. Right? And then after that, you're going to roll it over to the left side. Okay, we're pretty low, pretty low. That side doesn't seem so bad for me. So you're going to find spots where you're like, that's nothing to write home about. Even if I come up like this, nothing big. If I bring my right leg up, yeah, this does not bother me on my left side. So don't waste your time. Like, this would not be a spot that you would need to do. So then I'm going to take the ball, I'm going to roll it up. I'm just to the left of my belly button. And so for this one, you can see I can play around here. If I'm up, if I'm down, well, that's a little bit more tender like that. If I bring my right leg out to the side, that definitely increases the tenderness for me. So I just kind of hang here. There's nothing really for me to do except let the tissues melt. So it's like putting pressure into the body. Kind of like if you had a tender spot up here in your upper trap and you pressed on it and you just held it and held it and held it. It's the same scenario. Okay. Now, after I would be done with that, I'm going to roll it over to basically the belly button area. So I'm right on my belly button. And if I come down like this, yeah, actually more down. Like this creates a little bit more tension for me. And again, I would hang here. I'm going kind of fast because again, this would be really long if you just watched me lay here. It'd be very, very boring. So again, everybody's time is going to be different on when does that tenderness decrease by about 50%. Okay. Now, if I'm done, I'm going to roll the ball over to the right of the belly button. Again, maybe I can take my left leg up. Does that increase anything? I'm going to come up on my elbows. There's no tenderness here for me. Okay. Now, I can bring it up right underneath my rib cage, so to the right underneath the right side of my rib cage. Does this do anything? Ooh, that does. Okay. That's not surprising. All right, so if I go down like this, this causes more tension and more tenderness for me. Anybody that's had
I had a gallbladder surgery, so that's why this is tender for me. So anybody that's had a surgery up underneath their right rib cage, this could cause some discomfort. So if I didn't have the camera on me right now, I'd probably be hanging here for a little while until this decreased by 50%. So this is very tender for me, but not that I can't tolerate it. If I couldn't tolerate it, I would get off of it. Okay, so let's say that's done. I'd go right in the center, like right below your sternum or your breastplate. And that's tender for me as well. I can only, like, that's no tenderness. Right there, I feel some tenderness right there. It's discomfort. If I go down further, it's too much for me. So this would be kind of where I would hang out until that decreased. Okay. Then let's say that subsided by 50%. Now I'm underneath my left ribs. This is not a big deal for me. Even if I bring my right leg up, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Okay, so I would probably even skip that. Okay, so then I've done my entire abdomen. So after that, what you can do is this. We're going to do the back next. So those of you that have sacral issues, SI issues, tailbone issues, anything down here like underneath the waistline, this is a really, really good release. You're going to take the ball and you're going to put it right on that sacrum. Okay, so all my body weight's going to be right on the ball on the sacrum. And then after that, we're going to move up, and we're going to move up the body. We can go right on the spine all the way up. We can go on the sides of the spine all the way up. And it's just a great way to release the whole back. So the ball is going to go right underneath my sacrum. Right about there for me. Now, what I'd recommend is that you keep your knees bent for this. Otherwise, it just hurts your back. Okay, and it shouldn't. It actually should cause some discomfort, probably in the sacrum, especially if you have some issues down there. But over time, this becomes very, very, very relaxing. For those of you that have, during your menstrual cycle, you have sacral pain, this is a godsend. Okay, so this is a great way to try to get out of that. So again, I would be hanging out here until I felt like moving, to be honest. Or if I had discomfort, it decreased by 50%. But this is a very relaxing position for me, so I would hang out here quite a bit. Now, let's say I'm done with that. I'm going to move the ball straight up my spine, so I'm right above the sacrum. And there's not too much discomfort here for me, so I would skip that. Moving it up the spine a little bit more, so it's kind of a little bit below my bra height. And again, that's not a big deal for me. Now I'm going to move it up to about my bra height, and now that's a big deal for me. Okay, so it's literally right about bra height for me, or if I went straight through my body, like right here, basically on the other side. If you really want to open up the chest, you can take your arms out to the side like this, and it's a really nice stretch. And again, how long would I stay? Until that discomfort decreased by 50% in my back. Okay. Now after that, I'm going to roll up above the bra height. And there's that one. That one's a little tender for me too. So again, if I wasn't recording this, I would keep it there until it completely opened up, right? But it will be like watching paint dry if I actually make you watch me do that. Now, I'm going to go up to right below my neck. Right below my neck. Right there. That's where I want to be. So I rolled up on it a little bit. I let my head drop. And that feels pretty good. Okay. Now, as far as the neck goes, I mean, you can try this on the neck. I just don't find that it does too much, like on the back of my head. So what I would recommend is if you have 2 tennis balls at home, put them together, duct tape them together, so it's 2 tennis balls, and then you're going to put them right underneath, like, there's a bone in the back of your head, so right underneath that bone, and then lie on them. It's a great release. It kind of does the same thing, but this is a little too soft and a little too big to get that, okay? The other thing you can do with the back, again, you go to the sides, Okay, and go to the sides. So I'm on the left lower back right now. And in order for me to get my weight over there, I kind of need to bring this leg up. So if you can physically do this, great. If not, this is fine. This still kind of gets it. I just kind of need to make sure I roll my weight over onto the ball. But I find if you can do this, it gets it a little bit deeper. Okay. I could go over to the right side and do the same thing. Right. That's not as tender as my left side. Again, I would hang for a period of time here, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to go a little bit faster. I'm going to roll up about mid-back on the right side, and you can move around with your leg just to kind of see, yeah, that still gets it becomes a little bit more tender with my leg up versus my leg down. So again, it's seek and destroy. So where is the spot that really bothers me, and can I hang out and create pressure into it? Let's say that let go. I'm going to go mid-back on the left side, so I'm left of the spine. Yeah, and that's not a big deal for me, okay? And then I can come up a little bit more, kind of underneath my shoulder blade area on the left, which is not a big deal. I can go underneath my shoulder blade on the right, kind of roll up on it. That's a little bit more tender for me. There's not too much around the shoulder blade area to do. You know, moving your leg isn't going to work. You might be able to move your arm in different positions to get more of a tenderness feel. Like that's more tender for me than if this is down. So this is probably where I would hang until that subsided by at least 50%. Okay, so that's the whole back. Now, for those of you, so that's great for people that have back issues and stuff like that. For those of you that have pelvic issues or hip issues, the other thing that happens is you get tension in the butt and the glutes. Anybody that has like sciatica or pain down the leg, these might be good for you. You'd have to kind of see if it makes it worse or better. You kind of have to have pain be your guide with that. So you take the ball, you basically sit on it on like one butt cheek. So this is under my right butt cheek right now. And what I'm doing is I'm rolling around until I find a tender spot, which for me, oh yeah, is right there. It's more on the outside. And so this is the position I would try to hold with this. And then you would do the same thing on the left side. So you just move it over to the left side, bring your right knee up, roll it around and see what you can find. And again, you want to hold it there until pain decreases by at least 50%. The other thing you can do, those of you that have pain kind of on the hip area, you can put this on the outside of your hip like that. Maybe cross your leg over if you can physically do that. Kind of roll around until you find a tender spot. For me, it's right there. And then you would hang right there. Okay, just like that. It's kind of like the foam roller exercises. Not the biggest fan of foam roller exercises. This is a little bit more gentle than a foam roller. So again, side of my hip, roll around until I find something that's really tender, like right there is tender, and then I would just hang. So again, as I've shown these to you, I haven't held this, you know, till my pain decreases, because again, it would just be too long for you guys to watch. So right now we've done the full abdomen, the whole back. We talked about using the tennis balls, you know, on the back of the neck. Again, there's a bone right here. You want to be just below that bone. That's where those muscles are at. So that's kind of where you want to be. Tennis ball here, tennis ball here. You tape them together. It's a really great way to do it. There's also a still point inducer. We can talk about that later, but you can try to get that, and that could go in that area to release it. We've released the whole back. We release the sides of the hips, which obviously affect the pelvis as well. You can do this anywhere on the body, but for what we see you guys for, a lot of abdominal surgeries, a lot of pelvic pain, a lot of SI, sacral stuff. This is a godsend, and it's really, really cheap and easy to use. So good luck, and see you soon.